just as you are. The important thing is to be yourself, and to continue to be yourself at every moment. Be yourself, just as you are. Just as you are. Realize the beauty of being yourself. Know the ease of being yourself. Enjoy the joy of being yourself. There is love there. A soft love without any sense of obligation or pressure. It becomes unconditional love like the wind, without any sense of guilt. There is joy there. There is the greatest contribution. It becomes a way of bringing life to others. I am not interested in whether you are a good person or a bad person. For whom are the excuses you make in your heart? For whom are you trying to make yourself look good? Who is listening to the complaints you make in your heart? And what do people gain from them? That is not self-love, it is only hurting yourself. God says to cherish, care for and love yourself. So you want to be more comfortable, and pursue comfort. However, this desire to be comfortable actually becomes the seed of your discomfort. Let's say you are currently satisfied with a very comfortable situation. How would you feel if someone came along to disturb your comfort? People feel discomfort toward that intruder. It would be impossible to continue as God's love itself. In fact, the moment you seek comfort from your external world, the moment you try to become something other than yourself, you harbor the seed of discomfort within yourself. Comfort and discomfort are just two sides of the same coin. They are not something different. The more you seek something positive from the external world, the more negative factors you store deep within your heart, equal to the positive you have obtained. The more you try to become something other than yourself, the more the seeds of suffering begin to grow within you. You may hear some objections. Isn't that the worst world? Humans can't be happy like that. Or if that's the case, there's no point in living. But that is the very nature of this three-dimensional world. It is a world of many different and multifaceted paradoxes. And I was informed that this is the true reason for the existence of this three-dimensional world. The truth seems to be that a consciousness that wanted to experience an environment that was not infinitely comfortable deliberately entered this world of polar opposition in order to experience the discomfort. It can also be said that discomfort is a factor that allows one to experience a great sense of spiritual elation that could never be felt in the world of nothingness. Black highlights white, and evil brings out the good. That is what the three-dimensional material world is like. Just as a hero needs a villain, you exist now in search of the evolution of consciousness. Humans have continued to seek the evolution of consciousness and have been reincarnated repeatedly. They have continued to mistake this for continuing to seek success in the external social environment. The evolution of consciousness means returning to God. Returning to God means remembering that you were originally God Himself. What is originally God cannot become anything other than God. You are essentially God right now, and at no point in the future can you become anything other than God. Right now, at this moment, you are already perfect. You are there just because you want to feel the inconvenience. Many people say, I can't believe that. But this is not a question of whether you believe it or not, but a question of whether you accept this idea or not. It is not a question that can be judged by reason. This is why people have spent countless years of their lives undergoing arduous training. And now is the time to realize that enlightenment is not something that you attain at the end of training, but that it has always been beneath your feet. No matter what your superficial consciousness thinks, for the total you, that state is the best position for you. Don't try to go anywhere other than there. Don't try to become someone other than yourself. Everything is just the way it is. Just feel it as it is. Because that is the reason you are there now. There is no need to give meaning to situations that seem inconvenient. They just are that way. Loving and cherishing yourself does not mean that you should seek something positive outside of yourself, but that no matter what environment you are in now, you should know that the present moment is the best, because the present is the best environment for the evolution of your consciousness. If you are satisfied that you are in the best environment right now, and that environment is destroyed, as long as you do not doubt that that moment is also the best, you will start to wonder, what on earth happened? And what can I learn from this destruction? And you will start to enjoy the excitement of what always happens. That is your enlightenment. It means cherishing yourself. It means taking care of yourself as best you can. Love yourself as you are now. Accept yourself as you are. If right now you are thinking, I take care of myself the most, but the world just doesn't seem to be going well, then it may be that you are cherishing yourself too much and closing off your consciousness. If you avoid people you don't like because you don't want to feel uncomfortable, you will continue to live in fear of meeting them again. If you want to be comfortable and always avoid discomfort, the world you live in will become smaller and smaller, and eventually you will not be able to leave your room. The world you see outside is actually an illusion projected by your consciousness. Separating people you don't like from those you don't dislike means splitting your consciousness in half. People separate what they like from what they don't like. Divide their consciousness, divide good environments from bad environments, have their consciousness again. Create convenient events from inconvenient events, and divide their consciousness even further. In this way, You are driving your consciousness into a tiny existence. Loving yourself means expanding your consciousness. People who want to cherish themselves should accept people instead of rejecting them. Every time you accept someone you dislike, your consciousness expands. When you accept inconvenient events, your consciousness expands. I understand that you are thinking, it's impossible to like someone you hate. However, there is a difference in how people feel about disliking others. This is because in your consciousness, you have a mindset that doing this is wrong and unforgivable. Each time you lose one of these perceptions, the idea of separating others disappears and your consciousness expands. Someone criticizes you. You suddenly feel hostility toward that person. That person is rude. I'm not to blame. What a rude person to suddenly insult someone, without even listening to what they have to say. I can never forgive such a person. People like that are the reason the world is going crazy, and so on. Your ego's murmurings escalate in your mind. Your ego is unruly, so at times like these, don't try to shut it up by force, but let it talk to its heart's content. However, I recommend doing this when no one is around. Egos get bored very easily. If you don't forcefully break with reason, but let it vent as much as it wants, eventually, the voice of your ego will quiet down like the tides subside, and it will quiet down and go to rest. At that moment, the real you will rise to the surface of consciousness and feel, huh? Why was I so irritated? If you observe the reality that has happened while awake, you will notice an internal recognition, that it seems that I have a tendency to get angry when others criticize me. If this happens, you're in luck. If you don't get caught up in the whirlpool of reality and continue to observe while always awake, you will realize, why do I feel angry when others criticize me? If he suddenly criticized me, there must have been something about me that rubbed him the wrong way. He must have said that to me because he wanted to heal his own emotions. When people feel angry or afraid, they are unable to love others and end up blaming others. That's human nature. In reality, there is no one who is holding you back. If it seems or feels that way, it's just that that person is a weak person who is fighting desperately to protect themselves. When you truly understand yourself, you will understand that there are no bad people in the world. When you are convinced that there are no bad people in the world, there will be no one you dislike. Just as you are the best just the way you are, everyone around you is, without exception, at their best right now. Even if someone seems angry right now, it is happening because it is good for their evolution. There is no one in this world who is truly in trouble. When your consciousness becomes clear and colorless, there will be no standard to compare it with, and you will no longer compare people, events, or environments, and you will be able to accept everything as it is. First of all, embrace yourself as you are now, and love and cherish yourself from the bottom of your heart as you are now. The important thing is to be yourself, and to continue to be yourself at every moment. That is what the Buddha meant by entering the middle path. To be yourself is to be normal, a place where there is nothing special for you, a place where you are most comfortable. That is as you are, and that is the position where you can contribute the most to others. Enlightenment is not something that is out of reach, but something that you realize is there when you let go of everything. The important thing is to be yourself. That is the ultimate enlightenment.